Hi everybody, it's Cheryl Jesse again.
Hi.
So we're making this video because we have just approached 2 months living here in Amsterdam, Netherlands.
Yep.
And we thought it'd be a great idea to share our experiences moving here and settling down, which will include a lot of highs and some lows.
Some struggles, some real struggles. So here is a video of us Canadian expats living here in Amsterdam for the first 2 months.
Let's go!
Because when we got here, it was in the middle of summertime. So there were tons of tourists on the streets. It was like sunny weathers all around, and it just made our time here really fun.
It also helped that we knew a few friends who are also Canadians who now live in Amsterdam, who moved here before we did. So we did a lot of hanging out with them. You know, even on our first day landing here in Amsterdam, we had pizza dinner with 2 friends of ours.
Yeah.
And then we did everything from going for more food, drink, even going to an arcade bar. This arcade bar is in Taunton, which is in the Wester part, on the west side of Amsterdam.
Yeah, it was so fun there. They played like 90s music all night, and there was one level where it was just like all arcade games, and one of our friends from like a Canadian expat as well, and you've probably seen them actually on some of our vlogs in the past, but they organized like an expat night there. It wasn't like officially Expat Night, I don't think, but they had a ton of friends who were also expats from Canada, from America, and so everyone there, we just like met a ton of people. I think it was our first week, second weekend here. So we got to meet a ton of people, and because we saw so many familiar faces, not that we knew a lot of them, but just the fact that they were Canadian as well. Some of them were Asians as well, and like we had a lot of relatable activities and lifestyles that we've had. It just made it like feel like home a little bit.
So when it was a high of, I don't know, 32, 33 in Amsterdam,
30 degrees.
A few of us Canadians went on the train ride, and we went to a place called Zandorf, which is the beach. And yeah, we just had a great day, just sun tanning, having lunch,
You wouldn't think there would be a beach in Amsterdam. Like when we moved here, we were never thinking that we would see a beach again, maybe until we like traveled outside of the Netherlands. But there are some beautiful beaches here. Like they went on forever. Honestly, they're even better than the Vancouver beaches because the Vancouver beaches are not great. But
one thing I really liked is that they had soft sand.
Yes, super soft sand. It was white sand, I believe, like a little brownish, but still quite white. And there were a ton of restaurants. So the Vancouver beaches, there are restaurants like around the beach, but none of them were in the beach. It very much reminded us of Greece because there's tons of like beachfront restaurants there, and a lot of them were very bohemian vibe, and it was just, it was very beautiful. Yeah. It is so hot today. I think it's over 30 degrees, and it is so beautiful. And look at this water. It's a great day. It's a great day.
So every weekend, we try to go to at least one market around Amsterdam. So we've been to markets in the Pike, Jordan, and even in the west area of Amsterdam.
There's so many of them. They're just sprinkled all over. And now when we say markets, I know in Vancouver, they're mainly just farmers markets where you can get like groceries and stuff, but here they have markets for everything. So they have like fabric markets and flower markets, grocery markets, and some markets that just sell a bunch of kind of like night market stuff, like a lot of like different knickknacks and stuff and clothing and stuff. So
but primarily we go there for fresh groceries, so for fruits and veggies. It's nice to get something more local.
And that's where we got to try a lot of the local delicacies in our first month here. There's so many great like little eats here and snacks. So one of my favorites is, I don't know how to say it, but it's like poferettes, I think. I'll put it on screen, but they're these little pancakes. Sometimes they're flavored in lemon or maple syrup, and then they're like sprinkled with sugar on top, powdered sugar, and they're just these little like pancakes, and you pop them in your mouth and they're so soft and easy to eat. You can like eat a whole, 20 of them in one sitting by yourself. I love them.
And then for me personally, I like stoop waffles.
But the fresh ones though, you gotta try that. They're so melty and there's caramel in between, and like you like pull them apart and you see the strings of caramel, and it's so good. Yeah.
And we also love Dutch pancakes.
They do kind of remind me of the Cora. There's like this breakfast chain in Vancouver, Canada, where we're from. It's this breakfast place called Cora, and they have these pancakes that are a bit more spongy and like thicker texture, less like airy, no like pockets, but it's like a spongier, more texture kind of pancake, and that's what they have here. And it's so good. Like, I'm such a pancake girl, so I love it. So we've been to a few pancake places already. And you know what we've also had, and that's really popular here, is apple pie. So we had apple pie, I think the day that we moved out actually to our new apartment. And there's this place here, I can't remember the name of the place, but it is like so good. They bake these like cakes, but also apple pies on top, and they're so delicious and popular here. Good morning, and we have a Jesse with a new haircut. Looking fresh.
Thank you.
Where'd you get your hair done?
Went to a place called Moulton Barbers.
It looks good.
Yeah. Some good.
Let's see the back. Keep walking. Definitely a shorter back than we're used to, so it's feeling a little chilly here. This guy was like freaking about getting a new barber in Amsterdam. He's like, first things first, where do I get a barber? Yeah, he basically got his old barber, which he loves, to like take photos of his last haircut there so that he can show those photos to his new barber. So pushy. We also had one weekend where we went to the Nord.
And it's in the I Holland area where they have the flea market.
Yeah.
And you can buy lots of secondhand goods for your house.
It's the biggest flea market I've seen. Hundreds and hundreds of stalls.
You can buy clothing there. You can buy electronics there. We bought a guitar.
We did. We bought a guitar for 15 euros, which was quite the steal. But as I was saying, there's like a corner with like a ton of foods as well. I think there's like a restaurant there and a few other stalls. But there we got to try bitterballen, which is very popular here. They serve it with beer. It's kind of like a beer snack. Yeah, it's like these deep fried, sometimes with like, they're all like processed, but basically it's like a mashed up beef stew or beef, and kind of tastes like potatoes. There's all these different flavors for it, but yeah, that's where we tried bitterballen for the first time. So as part of moving into a new country and settling in, we moved into our permanent apartment at the end of the second week of being in Amsterdam. Now that is incredibly fast. I don't think that's very typical. I think people usually take about a month to find a place, but we were so sick of our temporary apartment. We're like, we gotta get this done and find a place.
So what we did was, the company that it's called Expat Housing Network, they have a service where they offered their real estate agent to help us find listings for rental
for a premium price, like we paid for it. And with the contracts, a lot of them are in Dutch as well, so because we only speak English and can only read English, it would have been very challenging for us to make sure that all the contracts were written correctly, and that we would agree to them. So it was actually like worth every penny. Yes, it was incredibly expensive, but I think it was worth it. I wouldn't have done it any other way, just because then we get to say that our first few weeks in Amsterdam felt like vacation, and I'm sure it wouldn't have if we were aggressively trying to like look for places and like get translation done, like figure out contracting and all of that, utilities and all of that. It's quite challenging. Yeah. So it was a pleasant experience, and we love our new place. We're in it right now. And when we got here, we fell in love. It was very modern here, and housing here in the Netherlands is so different from Vancouver. In Vancouver, we have apartments that all look the same. Rectangle, open space, concept kitchen with your smaller living room and your 1 or 2 bedrooms on the side, and then a washroom and maybe an ensuite if you're lucky. So that's kind of like your typical Vancouver apartment. So apartment searching is like, is it clean? You know, okay, it's clean. I like the area, you move into it. Yeah. But with here,
but the price is right too.
Yeah, the price is right. But apartments here, they all look different. Like all 3 of them that we went to, 4 of them, I guess, they were all incredibly different sizes. Like they're structured differently, and sometimes the washrooms are really weird. Like, I guess it's just like a European thing. We're very used to like these standard apartments in Vancouver. So moving here, a lot of these buildings are over 100 years old. Like they're very old. So a lot of them have been updated and modernized on the interior. So you really don't know what it would look like until you enter into the apartment itself. And I'm sure every apartment within this building probably looks quite different. So don't judge it by the outside of the apartments here.
Go inside and check it out.
Go inside. But anyways, that whole process was great, and we love our apartment now. We live in this space that's on the west side, and we really do prefer this west side just because there's so many great like restaurants around here, and it's very close to like bike to the center. So yeah, that was kind of our experience moving into a new apartment in Amsterdam on our second week here.
Yeah.
Hello.
Welcome to our new home. Beautiful big couch with a fake fireplace and a real TV.
Pull it out.
It pulls out?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
We just moved in, so all our luggages.
And our bed.
Our queen size bed.
Still figuring out how to open this.
It's like a nice dresser.
Welcome home. Okay, so it's all been like airy-fairy and like happiness and like vacation vibes here in Amsterdam, but honestly, the first 2 months, there has been some struggles. So we just wanted to talk about like some of the things that were kind of like a pain in our first 2 months. So like the first day that we moved into this new apartment, I think I had some clips, but we must have lost it. But right before, like while we were moving here from like the taxi, I already started feeling like something was wrong. I was a little nauseous, my stomach was hurting, but like it wasn't like extreme pain yet. I was still able to get around, and like I was kind of going to the washroom every so often. When we got here, like the next day after we settled in, it like hit me. I was so sick. It felt like food poisoning, but it didn't go away in 24 hours. Like it felt like a stomach flu, but it didn't go away. I had it for almost 2 to 3 weeks. Like the symptoms just kept with me for almost 2 to 3 weeks. Like it didn't all go away until maybe a month later. But I was nauseous, but I didn't like, puke and stuff. But I did have like really bad like stomach aches and like runs like for like a full week. And we ended up going to a doctor that night. We actually were on our way to the hospital, but then the hospital told us that they don't see patients at the hospital until you've seen a doctor. But at that time, it really felt like a life and death kind of thing, because I was in so much pain. I was like crunched over on my like side, and like I couldn't sleep, I couldn't eat. I like went to the washroom, but sometimes like I couldn't, and it was just like hurting, like there was just something like trying to get out of my stomach or something. But they didn't really diagnose anything. They gave me some paracetamol, I think, which is like a painkiller, like an Advil or a Tylenol here. But slowly, I mean, the symptoms started to get better. I was like eating, you know, like the food poisoning diet. I think it was like bananas and rice and applesauce or whatever. It did help. But oh man, I still don't know to this day whether it was all the prepackaged foods that I had Albert Heijn's that first week, the water maybe I wasn't used to, or I have no idea. I think we just ate a lot of junk the first week here, so it's probably one of those things that we ate. So what are some other struggles that we've had? There was one thing major that did happen to me, and you guys saw it in the last vlog, and if you haven't, I'll put the vlog up and you guys can watch that next. My phone got stolen. I mean, like half lost, but then got stolen afterwards. It was really saddening and like heartbreaking, and I know it's like such a materialistic thing to say about like losing, it's just a phone, you know. I mean, it's a very expensive piece of device that I purchased, and when you're in an international city and all you want to do is just like connect with your friends and family back home, not having your phone is, you kind of lose a little bit of your identity, and you lose that tool to help you connect with other people. And that actually happened the night before I launched my business here officially, so that was quite a bit of a downer as well. But I mean, I know things just happen, and that's one of the things that kind of was a struggle for us when we moved here. But other than that, and like a couple of these like little mishaps that happened to us, I'm still very thankful for all of these experiences that we've had, because we know that when we move internationally, not everything is going to go smoothly, right? I guess I'm just really lucky that we have each other throughout this process, because even though like all of this shit happens around, like we still kind of had each other to support, and there was like some family around, you know, to kind of like ground each other. So fast forward, it's now 2.5 months into living in Amsterdam, and honestly, I'm really happy that we've made this decision to move here. It's been quite of a change of a lifestyle. I mean, so many things have changed about our life, and there's so many different experiences that we're now going through. I mean, like the top ones are probably like, we're biking everywhere now. We're so used to being a driver in Vancouver.
In the car?
Yeah, we drove everywhere.
Now we bike everywhere. To the grocery store, to the mall, or to the shopping area. For me, taking the bike to work there and back every day.
Yeah.
It's great. I mean, it's good for, it's healthy.
Yeah.
I mean, you're getting a good workout.
Oh yeah, I'm like sweating every day. Like, I'm not a person to ever sweat, even when I do a really good workout. But for some reason, I don't know what it is about biking. I think because you're like wearing everyday clothing, and then you're like biking outside, and like it just like causes a lot of sweat in me, and I'm not used to that. So yeah, it's been quite an experience just commuting differently. For me, I've started my business here now a couple of weeks ago, starting to find some new clients.
What is it called?
It's called Made on Sundays. It is a creative studio, mainly doing branding and graphic design, and I serve any clients all over the world. Businesses, small businesses, medium size, if you're solo and you just need some graphic work, design work, whatever it is. I'm gonna put my links below just in case if you guys are interested. But yes, it's definitely that's been a big change in my life in terms of lifestyle. I went from like corporate North America to like freelancing, new business in Europe. So life has been very dramatically different for me, and I feel like in general it has been a bit more of a struggle for me to settle into my lifestyle here and getting into a routine, just because I can't have the same routine as I had when I was back at home, because I don't have a 9-to-5 to go to these days. So it's just like been a bit of some work to kind of like build out like this new routine that I want for my life. Yeah. And entertainment wise, I mean, like we said, we have a ton of friends here now. Not a ton, I shouldn't say that. A couple friends here now that we hang out with. But in general, like things here, there's just a lot more going on in this city. There's a lot of events happening every week, which is very different from Vancouver because we're kind of a bit of a sleepy city. We have like some like weekend events and stuff and some festivities sometimes with the different holidays. But yeah, in general, it has been surprisingly a very smooth transition. And looking back now, just in review, like I'm so happy we did this. And we thought it felt less challenging than we expected. Now, don't get me wrong, it was so much work, prep work, research, just like making sure that our life decisions were in line with each other. But in general, like that transition from Vancouver, Canada to Amsterdam in the Netherlands, it wasn't as hard as I expected. I guess why we made this video and why we're creating this channel is because we just wanted to kind of document our time here and experience of moving into different cultures, and we wanted to kind of let people know that it's very achievable. Like it seemed like a dream in the beginning a couple months ago, and now we're here and settled down. And if you guys have any questions in detail about any of the experiences that we've had, or if you're considering moving to Amsterdam or somewhere near here, drop us a comment below, ask us some questions. We'd be so happy to like either just answer them below or create another video to kind of answer them in detail. But we want to be a resource to other people who are moving to international cities, whether you are trying to look for another corporate job or you're starting a new business or want to do freelancing. Those are topics that we're very passionate about and would love to help people on. So we're gonna end off our video here. If you guys have any questions, again, reach out.
Leave a comment.
Yeah, check out our Instagrams below as well in the description. You can like DM us there. Like our video. Subscribe to our channel if
please.
You're interested in any of this content. But we love you and thank you for tuning in and getting to the end of the video. We'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.